and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jackie Chaplin. I'm the crochet artist and certified crochet instructor behind Works of Whimsy Crochet. I sell plushies and patterns on Etsy and in person at market events all throughout the year. So if you're into crochet and crochet related things, make sure you stick around and make sure you subscribe so you can see what I am working on for my next market event. So speaking of market events, today I have a fun little pattern haul for you that's kind of like a little Halloween vibes to a good portion of them, and I'll explain kind of why I'm doing that. So lately, and by lately I mean since toward the end of last year, I've been kind of feeling a little meh about my market prep. I was just doing a lot of back-to-back custom orders, and of course some of my custom orders are really cool, and then some of them I'm just strictly working for the client and doing what they want, so it can be kind of not that fun. And then markets, of course, if I'm going to markets, I want to bring my go-tos that we already know sell well, like mini octos, Mabel with the chicken, pot mushrooms, the classics, if you will. But typically I would add in whatever I wanted to make, which does help kind of quell the burnout a little bit. But with the end of last year and going into the beginning of this year being so custom order heavy, I wasn't getting time to make the one-off kind of things that keep me entertained, keep me interested. So it was really just kind of getting to be a lot. So because of that, once I finished most of what was on my list and custom order wise, and honestly refunded a couple of them, they just did not have an interest in doing, which may be unprofessional, but also I knew that if I wasn't interested, my quality of work would suffer, and that's more important to me than maybe upsetting customers because I took an order that I wasn't able to fulfill. But if I'm not going to do it right, I should not do it, in my opinion. But yeah, that is why I stopped doing custom orders. So I only had a small number of occurrences like that where I felt I needed to refund and get out of. So it took me a little while to get back into the swing of things. I didn't do my first market until May 3rd and 4th of this year, 2025, which I'll link that video wherever. And the video that I do before the market where I show you everything I'm bringing in, my prices, they'll be linked in the cards and down below so you could watch those. But after that, I came away with some inspiration because the market went pretty well. I came away with some money, so I had some money to play around with, and you guys know I like me a paid pattern, so I'm so sorry that all the patterns on this list are paid patterns. I don't remember the price ranges, but at the very least, I think you should still watch the video and look, so you might be able to find a free alternative that's similar in style to these, to get ideas and inspiration for, something you may want to make for your next market. Now I will say, I've not made any of these. I mean, I've made some of them now because I bought the pattern and then made the thing, but I've not made these and taken these to markets yet, so these could all be duds. So keep that in mind, that these are at least for me, untested patterns. So I don't know what the customer, reaction will be to them, but I personally found these to be fun and whimsical patterns, and I wanted to make some of them, and I have. And so I want to show you all of what I got, and I'll tell you the designer, and I'll tell you why I love them. So I'll put pictures up on the screen so you can see. I have made some of them, and if I was a better YouTuber, I would show you the version of them that I made, but they're in the other room on my grid walls, and it's already enough prep to put up pictures, let alone go collect up all the plushies I made, because I made a good portion of what's on this list. So I made this Loso Baby Frog by Tasha's Crochet Nook. You guys have probably seen this. I had seen this pattern before, but I had just not made it yet, and I really like the realistic kind of look of it, and it is a bigger pattern, but it wasn't terribly time consuming. I consider anything an hour and a half or less to be relatively market friendly, and this took right about an hour and a half to make, and that was on my first time making it, so I bet I'd get faster if I've made it a few times. But I think regardless, he's pretty cool, and even at an hour and a half, he's not terribly expensive, so I don't think he'll have a hard time selling on this list. I feel like he's probably going to be one of the first things that go if I do sell these items. Now, speaking of market friendly, this guy, gorgeous. Not really market friendly. I will say I made all parts of the pattern, the hat, that's removable, the stethoscope, the lantern, but because of that, this guy is going to run $70 because of the time and the materials it took to make him. So is he the most market friendly? No, but I'm literally obsessed with him, and this was one of the few things that I've like ever made that I like really stopped and was like, do I actually want to sell this? Because I kind of love it. But to date, so far, there's only been one thing that I've like ever made that I've kept that's like not just like immediately been like, of course I'm gonna sell it. And that's a velvet teddy bear. And it took forever and years off my life, and was the first time I ever worked with velvet. And yeah, so I do have him. I did pick him up the other day and was like, maybe it's time for him to go. But then I put him back down on his little shelf, and I haven't sold him yet. But if I do ever make this again, I might keep the one I make again. I don't know. We'll see if somebody really wants to give me $70 for him. I've had people spend more at markets, but I don't know. We'll see. Because he's not really that big. My version is probably about 10 inches with the hat sitting on the head. He's a little shorter without the hat because that adds height, and that's with an 8mm hook. So all you people who are somehow using Bernat blanket with like a 6mm hook, making teeny tiny tight things, he'd probably be significantly smaller for you and still take the same amount of time. So, but obviously, it's just amazing. The next patterns that I bought was this pattern pack by All From Jade. I've never made any animals on swings or anything on swings yet, but I feel like a lot of people really like them. They at least like get attention at markets, even if they don't get bought. Obviously I want my stuff to get more than attention, but like if they pull somebody in and they buy something else, like that's kind of okay. But of course I don't want things in my stock forever. But I have had a lot of success with like All From Jade patterns. So, and I think these are cute. So I feel like if there's anything like this that'll sell, these ones should be okay. Now I hadn't made anything from this pattern pack yet, just because I'm missing a few of these colors and I really like the way they look on the like cover of the pattern essentially. So I want to make them basically identical to that. So I was waiting on yarn, and I did get my yarn today, and I just filmed a yarn haul video. So that'll be coming at some point, or maybe already out, I don't know. We'll find out together. If it's out, I'll link it. If it's not, stay tuned. But yeah, I want to make them just like that. But I do feel like these will be okay. The next thing that I bought was this popping frog on a mushroom from Cable and Canvas. And if I didn't say, I'll have these patterns linked on my master Google Doc, and they'll be in the order that I'm mentioning them, but like at the end of the document, because that Google Doc has like every pattern I've ever used for my business. So yeah, these ones will be like toward the end, because these are all new things that I'm adding to that pattern list, because they're new patterns that I just bought. If that makes sense. Popping frog on a mushroom by Cable and Canvas. I've not seen these at markets yet, but I've done a lot of Cable and Canvas patterns, and like All From Jade, customers seem to like that aesthetic, and I think this is like really cute, and I made it pretty much just like this in the picture. I will say it's not that big for the fact that it also took me like an hour and a half, but I think it is really cool, and it's not only like aesthetically pleasing, it like does a thing, which I feel like will help it move pretty fast. So between like everything on this list, I think the top two items that'll sell first are the frog and probably this like coincidentally frog on a mushroom. So we'll see. I will let you know. The next thing that I got was this pattern for mini dragons. I feel like dragons have been moving for a lot of people pretty much in all sizes, but I don't enjoy making them that much. So when I seen this, it looked small and quick, and even with sewing the wings on it took less than an hour. So I think it'll, you know, go over well with people, and I made 3 of them, so we'll see. I'll probably sell them for like 20 bucks, which I feel like is not that bad. I thought about, even though they're different designers, making the big Crochet by Jenna dragon and like putting it somewhere adjacent to these baby dragons, but we'll see how I stage them. I don't really love making dragons. The next patterns I bought, and I feel like, is that? Yeah, the next patterns, like all throughout the end of this list, and there's still quite a few more to get to, are all kind of like whimsical, monstery, but cute vibes. So I think these are going to be particularly good in the fall season if they move. Starting with the Brothers Grimm. Adorable. Not necessarily market friendly. These took about 2 hours to make. They look small in this picture. They work up to a pretty decent size in Bernat blanket. I will say, there is a part that I was confused about in the instructions, and even after reaching out to the designer for explanation, I was still confused. But also, I may be just stupid because nobody in the comments on the pattern, like the reviews, mentioned struggling with it, so that could just be a me thing, but it's worth noting. I was able to like freehand my way through that, and they came out cute, and I like them, and I made 2, so it's not like, you know, a horrible deal breaker. Now if you're brand new to crocheting, maybe skip this one or see if she'll like film you a tutorial or something. But if you're not new, it's nothing huge that'll like keep you from finishing the pattern. Like I got it done, but I just wanted to mention that. And I made 2 of these. I made a black one, like traditional, like black and white with the scythe. And then I made like a pink girly version with the like staff thing. So those are fun. And I like how those turned out. And I think they'll sell, even though they're going to be kind of on the more expensive side because they took 2 hours. Let me see what am I pricing those at. I'm looking at my spreadsheet. Yeah, kind of expensive. $48. A little small for $48. But also they're pretty sick. So we'll see. Pinkies crossed. Ooh, these. I have not made these yet, but I love these. I'm putting these in the monster category, even though they're like a little more whimsical, because like I don't really know where else to put them. People plants? I don't know. I haven't made them yet, but they do look pretty quick because they're small, and I like the turnip looking one with like the tall leaves. I just hope that like white detailing on it's like easy, because I think that's the part that like makes it like the cutest of the ones, but like I just think they're adorable. The next are these. Oh wait, did I say who those are by? Those are, I've skipped like the names on half of these. Okay, pause for a second. The mini dragons were by Avalon Crochets. The Brothers Grimm patterns were by Woolly Amigurumis US. Like I said, they'll be linked. And then the plant plushie 4-pack was by Blue Paw Print Crochet. This next pattern, the mer creatures, are also by Blue Paw Print Crochet. Which these like mer creatures, I'm also putting in the monster the monster category, just because I don't know, they call them like fantasy, like all of their stuff is labeled fantasy something or other, but you know, it's monstery. I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, but you guys get it, and it's really unimportant to how I categorize them. I just, for the sake of putting them in my filing cabinet, I'm gonna put them with the monsters. Is all that means. About this though, I particularly like the mercat. I have not made it, but it's got a fun vibe. And of the 2, that'll probably be the first one I make. Moving on to these little monsters by Blue Paw Print Crochet. These are definitely monsters, self-described by the designer. I like the little green one. He gives Mike Wazowski vibes. I've not made him yet, but I have made the one that I'm calling Pillow Pants. I'm just gonna leave that one alone. It took about 45 minutes, but this is definitely one of those patterns that I feel like if I make it a few times, it'll go like significantly faster. It's just a lot of like leg, putting them together around, then like crocheting into the top of. But like once I've made it a few times and I don't have to keep reverting to like, you know, the pattern to make it, because it's such a simple shape, I do think I can shave a good amount of time off that. But even still, for less than an hour, it's not bad. But you know, these and like the little plant things, they're not really a recognizable thing or like animals, so I feel like I don't know how these will sell, because I've only ever done things that are like, except for the whimsy monsters and like a couple of goblins, but even then they were like really kind of traditional looking goblins. I feel like I don't know how to describe that either, because there's a lot of looks, but like either way, you interrupted my video. Jagger came in for his pool noodle. We don't have a pool, but Zach got a pool noodles. But anyway, the point is, a lot of these are just weird little creatures. I don't know if that'll be appealing to people. I think they're fun and whimsical, but will other people, is the question, since they're not like, you know, little yetis, a mythical thing, but like when you picture a yeti, you know, like the Madeline Mako Yeti, something like that, you know, you could look at it and see that's a Yeti, if that makes sense, because it's like recognizable even though it's not real. I also got this they're called fantasy plushies, again putting them in the monster category. Particularly I'm associating these with goblins, even though they're not like all super goblin-y. And I've made this whole pattern pack already with the different variations, and I matched the colors as closely as I could get with the yarn I had in hand, because I just liked how they came out like this. They're cute. They took like an hour and a half to make, which isn't terrible. I do believe they're going to be in like the $35 range, which, I mean, they're not huge, but they're not terrible. So, and I like them. And, you know, it just be what it is, I guess. They spoke to me and I wanted to make them. There's also this second set by Blue Paw Print Crochet that I got. I have not made any of these. I'm probably just gonna sit on like the first set of 3 and see how those sell before I make these. but I did really like these, particularly the one in the middle. Even though it doesn't have ears, it gives like most traditional goblin vibes to me, whatever that means to you. But I liked it. It's just cute. It's just fun. And then this guy right here is the one that like really started it all for this designer and me. I seen him and it's just so cute and little, and I've not made him yet, but he looks fast, and if he's like fast enough, I want to make him in a few different colors because I just think it's adorable. And yeah, now I don't know if other people would be like, this little blob is so cute, I want to buy it, the way I was like, this little blob is so cute, I want to make it, but we'll find out. And then I did make these. I'm calling these mini goblins. They only took about 30-35 minutes to make. I did them in green and black. The green one definitely gives Yoda vibes when it's done because of the color green I use, but I think it's cute and it's fun. So basically, a lot of monsters. That's kind of what I'm vibing with right now. I do like spooky all the time and like whimsical all the time, not just in like Halloween. And I'm basically, for as far as these go, I'm cautiously optimistic about how they'll do, but I do think taking the summer to like market prep for fall, as I usually do, having a lot of monsters going into that season, if you're gonna do it, that this is gonna be the time to do it kind of deal. But I'm definitely gonna like test them. I gotta market in June. Obviously I don't think they'll all sell in June because that'd be weird, but I'll let you know like general customer reactions and like what seems to be getting attention, if they're completely overlooked, if people ask repeatedly, oh, what is this, it's weird, you know, that kind of thing. I'll let you know. So, but yeah, if you are preparing for fall markets, I hope this gave you some inspo. They definitely gave me some inspo, and you know, if you've made any of these before, I would love to know in the comments if they've worked out for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.